Welcome to the next part in our small business unit. We're going to focus on money matters and also the summary paragraph to finish off this project. So in the money matters section, we're going to focus on estimating the following, which is your startup costs, your operating expenses, which could either be fixed or variable, and then also the paperwork you need to collect for income tax purposes. Then I also want you to think about your price list for your product or your service, and I want you to explain why you pick those price points. Then lastly, it will be the calculations for the break-even point. So that's your anticipated profits and how long it will take for you to make that money back from your startup costs, which is the initial investment. So let's break it down back to estimate the following, which is your startup costs. This is going to be a little bit fun. We're going to do some online shopping to get an idea of how much your equipment or your startup costs are going to be. So for example, if you're going to go through the contracting side, you can go to the Home Depot website and shop around for your basic tools that you would need, like a saw or something like that. You can put it into your cart, add them all up, screenshot it, and then put that into your project. Or if you're not doing contracting, then you can use other websites as well. Amazon's a really good one. So for example, if you want to start a at-home hair salon, you probably need a hair salon chair. You can go on Amazon and search to see what they sell, and then you have a pretty good idea of the price point for that particular item. And then you can search for other things like hair salon mirrors and stuff like that. Add them to your cart, and then at the very end, you could just, again, screenshot that, insert that to your project. This will give you an idea of what your startup costs are going to look like for your equipment. The next thing you want to think about is, are you going to pay for any advertisements or marketing for your company? So that could be flyers, that could be paying a marketing company to help organize your social media account, things like that, if that's what you're interested in. You don't have to insert marketing right away. You could probably facilitate all your marketing on your own to begin with, especially if you start fresh for a business. You can add marketing maybe when you have a bit more income from your company. But if you have the money and funds to do that right away, that's a great way to get your name out there faster by getting some experts. So if that's what you want to do, then you have to do some research into different marketing companies in Winnipeg and seeing how much the cost would kind of be like. Or if you can't find Winnipeg specific, you can maybe find information that's Canadian specific. The other thing I want you to think about are the operating expenses. So that could be labor costs if you're going to hire people, fuel if you need to drive to your client's house or anything like that. Could also have cell phone bill, one for your business that's outside of your personal cell phone, and then insurance for your company or car insurance and all those sort of things. So when you're listing your operating expenses, I want you to classify if it's a fixed expense or a variable expense. So a fixed expense is something that occurs on a regular basis. That could be your monthly insurance for your company or your vehicle insurance, or maybe it'd be labor costs to hire your employees. So it could be their salary. The other thing could be variable expenses. So these are usually unexpected, things like bad weather or breakdowns. That would be a variable expense that you might need to consider to make sure you have the money set aside if anything like that does pop up. And then finally, for income tax purposes, you should collect all your receipts. And those receipts could be your equipment that you're buying as part of your startup. And if you claim those things, the government could give you credit back so that you can start your business. So they will financially help you to an extent. So if you want to collect your receipts for that, you can claim it. The other thing you need to do is claim, or not claim, but to save all of the receipts that you would be giving to your customers or your clients, because you need to track how much income you're getting for your company for your income tax. Income tax is a bit more expensive when you own a small business. There's quite a few fees associated with that. So it's really important for you to make sure that you collect all of the information about your business. the money coming in, the money going out sort of thing, so that when you do file your income tax, it's all done properly. The next thing would be the final price list for your product. So that means that, let's just say a haircut that you're going to do is a solid $30. If it's for long hair, if you're going to start doing perms and coloring, then fees maybe start at $70, something like that. I just want you to provide me a list of your service or your product. So if you decide to sell products like cupcakes, cookies, and stuff like that, I want you to be able to give me a whole price list on that as well. If you're more on the contracting side and it varies, maybe give me a few examples. So for example, if you're going to do some landscaping in the back, and to say includes a fence, a deck, a patio space or something like that, just give me a ballpark example of how much that quote would be. And then give me several of them, because you could do renovations as well in the kitchen. That'll be different from renovation costs for a bathroom and stuff like that. And then I also want you to discuss the pricing of the product, why you chose that price, and compare with the market price. So maybe you want to compare with, I don't know, another company that has a similar service to you, to show that your prices are fair and it's not too expensive or not too cheap. The next thing for your Money Matters part is it calculates for the break-even point. So the break-even point is when all the investment costs that you initially put into the company balances out with all the money you made back. Because most likely when you start a business, you're going to be at negative whatever the investment was. So let's just say you started a small business of a hair salon. You have to renovate your basement so that it looks like a hair salon, and it costed you, let's say, $5,000 to renovate that basement and get all your salon supplies. So if that's $5,000, you want to make the calculation, CK. Let's just say that I have at least 20 clients a week. So if I have 20 clients a week and they're all just getting basic haircuts, how much money can I make in a week? Now, if I know how much I make in a week, maybe I can estimate how much I can make in a month. And how many months would it take for me to make that $5,000 back, so that I'm at the baseline of 0 and I'm not in debt anymore from starting this business. So that is what the break-even point is. So what you need to calculate is your anticipated profit per product or per service. So let's just say we're gonna again go with a hair salon example that is $30 to get a haircut, and that's how much you're going to make. Now, I want you to estimate how many haircuts you're going to do in a month. Let's just say you had a really good business and you're able to do like 50 in a month or something like that. Then you do 50 times 30. That's going to be how much you make in a month. Well, then you're going to take that and see what the break-even point is. So let's just say your break-even point is $5,000, because that's how much you put into your business to begin with. How many months would it take for you to make that $5,000 back, so that you're not in debt anymore? So you could just show me your work mathematically for that. You could also do it in a graph, and I provided an example there for you on the screen, what it could look like. There are valuable to help you display what the break-even point is, but it's not necessary for you to have this in your project for me. I just need you to show me the mathematical calculations, how you would get there. So that's it for the Money Matters section. The last part is just the summary paragraph. Pretty self-explanatory, so explain whether you expect your business to be successful or not. Describe the viability in your area. So that just means that you think you'll be getting a lot of customers, a lot of clients, depending on where you are located, that sort of thing. And then I want you to identify what could go wrong ahead of time. There's a lot of unexpected things that could occur when you're starting a business, and you could sometimes foresee what those things are, and sometimes you can't. But try to identify what you think could go wrong ahead of time. Then also find factors that could affect your profit. So that could be your location, hours of operation, maybe the time of the year, the signage to advertise your business, the number of employees, where you buy your supplies, cost of production, your process, all those things. I want you to think about all the factors that could affect your particular business. And then I want you to think about if you can see yourself starting a business, why or why not, what are some advantages of owning your own business, and what are some disadvantages of owning your own business. So that is your summary paragraph that you would have at the very end. Before you submit this to me, either through the OneNote or through the email, I want you to attach all of the work that you've done, which includes all your rough calculations. I can't give you full marks if I can't see what your thought process is. So please make sure that your calculations are all included in there, and any additional work that you want to make sure that I see so you can obtain the full marks. Remember to check back the rubric, because this is where I'm going to be marking you. I'm going to be using this as a guideline. So make sure that you have all those things, and maybe even check them off as you go to make sure that all that information is in there and you can get all the marks as possible. So that's it for the small business project. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or contact me through Teams. Have fun with this project.